Again, it's loading. I don't know if I'm live yet, but I see there we go. Now it says I'm live. Ayakui, Nekanau Skip Lowry, Tewumeth Nenewachek, or Nenewachaw. I'm glad to see you all. Neka talk sima kich papolin esi neka talwimeth tewumeth ka ma. I'm happy to be here. We all respect our elders. It's good to see you. Welcome to Sumac Village again. I'm going to give a couple minutes here or seconds for people to log on, give a kind of brief over the shoulder tour. We have a redwood log I'm going to be talking about here today. Some of our structures in the background that are made out of the redwood. So I see a couple people. Hi, Lori. Hello. Cool. Sunday, beautiful, hot Sunday here in Northern California, North Coast Redwoods District. I want to give a shout out to all of our staff and our maintenance department, law enforcement department, our seasonal aides are doing the best we can to provide a safe environment for people to come explore our parks and be a part of our wonderful geography here. So I appreciate everybody that's doing their hard work and due diligence when you show up to respect the social distancing and sanitation, all hand sanitizing and washing hands. We just really appreciate everybody that's doing their part when you come visit our parks, keeping your distance when you can. If you can't, please mask up. Hi, Robin again. Andy, Australia representing. That is sweet. All right, so I'm going to talk my subject or theme today. I'm going to talk a little bit about big trees and fire. So another shout out, I have to give my full respect and hats off to the servicemen in our fire departments everywhere. There are over 90,000 acres burning in California right now. 4,475 fires, separate fires that are documented. And so I've done fire. I've been a part of fire. Our culture is fire. It's part of my dialogue today. But I want to give a sincere shout out to the members of those fire departments and the CAL FIRE inmates that are always on the front line. We've utilized them here. My respect. You guys are professionals, and I really just can't express the gratitude and the appreciation that it takes to go out and fight fires like that. I've been part of controlled fires, and that's what I'm talking about today. But fighting out of control fires is a different topic. I'd have no experience with that, but being next to controlled fires is pretty impressive. And so shout out to all the people out there protecting everyone else. So I'm gonna sing a song for you guys later. I got some medicine in my hand. I'm a little shaky because it's coming from my heart. So again, we're at Sumac Village here in North Coast Redwood District. So big trees and fire have a time immemorial relationship. A lot of the trees could not get as big as they are without a relationship with fire in its surrounding geographic areas. When we look at over my shoulder, there's houses built out of the finest grain redwood, like tall trees, pure grain, no limbs, no knots. That comes from interpersonal relationship. And I say interpersonal when I'm talking about fire and the wood. They are spiritual beings in our culture, and they have a relationship. And their science is just now figuring out, and best practices on land management are just figuring out, that fire is good for the environment at the right time, with the right purpose, in the right way. It's always dangerous. There's always fires is its own life. It's really neat to see control burns, cultural burns in effect, where the fire it breathes, it lives, and it reacts with everything that it's engaged with. I don't like calling it destroying. A lot of state parks and national parks has a history of suppressing fire and being scared of it, being so fearful. Everybody raise your hand. Give a shout out if you heard Smokey the Bear, or just Smokey Bear. Excuse me. It's not Smokey the Bear, it's Smokey Bear. They've put a lot of effort into instilling fear about the relationship between fire and forest, forest and place, place and people, people and fire. And right now, Cal Fire, BLM, national parks, state parks are reinstitutionalizing what they are describing as prescribed burns. Now, prescribed is like a doctor, right? Your prescription. They're called RX burns on paper. Like I've seen the papers that they put out. And so it's like, oh, we are the doctors and we're prescribing the land. That's not exactly how the native people understood how and when you're supposed. We're not in control. Nature's supposed to tell you when and where. They will prescribe to you when and where we're supposed to burn and how and why. And when that happens, there becomes a long-standing fire resilient landscape. There's a mosaic that will occur, not a monotonous streamline of fire fuels, but broken up pieces of different age groups, biodiversity, and all of the respect that you can give a place for it to be strong in itself, and not like we are paternalistically in control and we have to doctor the land. We have to be in relationship with the land. And so today I'm hitting on big trees and fire, and you can't have those big trees without clearing a little bit of the underbrush with fire in a respectful way. And Yurok cultural tradition is since time immemorial. All of the big trees that you see are only because the Yurok tradition in this location, you know, I'm not talking about everywhere, but right here in this geographic space, the Yurok culture's Aboriginal territory, fire was the sharpest tool in the shed. We, in our culture, in our language, in our ceremonies, have is harbored the most sophisticated natural resource management and relationship systems to date. And science is just now picking up on that fact. They're saying trees can actually communicate now. They're learning that. Some scientific proven things that say trees actually can communicate. And we have old stories in our culture that talk about that in our own way, from our own understanding, that's immemorial. So it's really neat to think that the Yurok culture and the cultures, indigenous cultures across the globe now, I'm going to go a little bit bigger and say big trees, fire is not unique to Northern California. Australia, the Aboriginals there, from what I understand, had an intimate relationship with fire since time immemorial, and they knew how to engage the land the same way. And like, so it's inherent that we understand, if we're going to continue on for another 10,000 years, that rebuilding that relationship that our indigenous people understand and have in our cultures, in our language, respecting that and uplifting that, and not appropriating that, absolutely not, but including it on a level that has the correct compensation and respect and authority. Like when you talk about sovereign communities, like we have our own authority, and it's not given to us. It is what we inherently have a responsibility to honor. That dialogue comes with cultural burns, comes with engaging our landscape. So I want to try to tie this to some really cool things going on. We have redwoods rising, and in state parks, Cal parks, and they want to redevelop old growth redwoods, old growth canopies. And so it is imperative to restore old growth redwoods, old growth canopies and forests, that they at the forefront put Indigenous understanding and leadership for correct value and appropriate value. And that's the way we're going to heal from the violent separation that happened when contact came and they started suppressing fires and spending taxpayers' money putting out fires. Now, I'm not against defending our landscapes, but people make money off of suppressing fires, and we need to shift our worldview into not being scared of fires. And so we have to stop the ones that are out of control. Great. But before it happens, we need to have a relationship with fire so that it burns the fuel the way the environment needs us to respond to it. That's, I think, where I'm coming from today in my big talk. You guys want big trees, you got to have big plans to include the Indigenous people in the cultural fire practices that when early European immigrants came here, they saw these huge trees. And I'm talking from the Nevadas all the way across California. You know, Mountain Maiya land, the big, one of those ponderosa pines, I think, or the big pines over there, they were huge. They did the same thing there. You suppress fire, you cut down the big trees, and your landscape becomes non-resilient to fire on itself. It becomes susceptible to dangerous fire. So I've gone on a little bit. I'm gonna look at my thing here. San Jose, are you open the campsites? Yes, our campsites are opened up here in California. So I guess I kind of a little ranted just because I have history with cultural fire, and understand that if you do honor traditional Yurok and Indigenous cultural traditions across the globe, you'll be in a better understanding of the geographic space that you are blessed to be a part of, and can honor it better and help create a sustainable relationship, so that it's not us trying to control our own existence. It's just we are in existence with what is here, and that's, I guess, just a traditional value that I'm hoping my kids learn and I can share with everybody out there in the world. So the hazel lashings on the houses back here have a really unique tie to fire, and in the future I'm gonna get into that, and I might even make a hazel lashing and show you how to tie it down in a future Facebook post. So keep watching, and I appreciate everybody that shows up on Sundays. If you can't make it on Sundays, our other interpreters at North Coast Redwood districts provide other interpretations. So North Coast Redwoods district at 3 o'clock on Facebook Live. You guys, I encourage everybody to explore our parks virtually if you can't come personally. So thanks for listening. I appreciate it, and more to come next Sunday. Bye.